In the following episode, we're going to discuss about the tar utility. The tar utility allows you to create an archive. Really, it allows you to combine multiple files and directories into a single file. Why might you want to do that? Well, if you're making important backups, if you are trying to keep a certain version of a file, or even if you're transferring a file, or in this case, multiple files from one system over the network to another, it's just easier to have one file transfer instead of transferring multiple files. So tar, you can really think of it like a collection box where you can save and back up important files, keep certain versions of files archived, and easy file transfer. The taped archive utility is built in, and all you need to do is use the tar command to accomplish necessary archiving tasks, such as creating an archive, extracting files from archive, listing the contents of an archive, also appending or adding files in an archive, updating files in an archive, and actually even compressing your archive should you choose to based on specific compression utilities. So the case given here is Gzip, but there are other compression utilities that you can use along with tar in order to compress your final archive. Moving forward in the lab, we're going to show you how to use the tar utility in a practical way, from creating archives, adding files, extracting files from an archive, so you can really manage files a little bit easier in the Linux system. Please stay tuned and join us in the lab. In this episode, we're going to talk about the tar utility. So the tar utility stands for Taped Archiver. It allows you to create archive, which is simply a collection of files and directories. Now, why would you want to create a single file that represents a collection of files? Well, think of a situation where you may need to email someone multiple files. So normally, when you receive those emails, all those files are compressed inside some zip file. Well, you can think of an archive for similar purposes. It allows you to not compress, but collect files inside of a single file called an archive, which allows you to transfer multiple files in a simple way through linking a single archive. It allows you to back up your files. It allows you to have version control, where you can save certain versions of files inside an archive. So it provides quite a number of benefits, and the archiving utility within Linux is called tar, or the Taped Archiver utility. And how you use it, let's explore. I'll open up the terminal and zoom in for readability, and just type ls just to see what files we have. Now I see we have a directory and we have file A, so let's go ahead and create an archive using tar to collect the contents of file A along with the contents of directory. So tar, and then you have multiple switches to work with. You can, again, if I actually can show you the man page, this will give you a good idea of how to use tar. So this is the taped archiving utility, and this is the Unix style usage. It allows you to, combine different switches to understand or to work with it correctly. And you can see down here the different options for working with tar, whether you can combine the switches or have them separate, or instead of switches, just use the entire name for that option. So generally, you can see tar works like this. You are creating an archive with a -c or -- create in this instance. You're giving the tar file name, and then you are going to list a number of files and directories that are going to exist inside that archive. So simply, I'm typing tar, create the archive, the file name I will give, and I want verbose information, or to see all the files as they're being extracted or put into the archive. So that's the C or the X for extraction. So my file, tar file, you can give any name in any location. So I'm going to say in this location, create a tar file called archive.tar. You can't forget the .tar. It's extremely important that identifies that this is a taped archive file. And then you can give a number of directories and files you want to archive. So here, let's go ahead and archive whatever we have. And now you can see we have a archive file. Now, in order to see this archive file or to confirm that we have indeed these files inside of the archive, we can list into the archive the same thing, just like how I typed above. So tar, and then T, I believe, is view or list, tvf, and archive.tar, and we can see or verify the necessary files inside our archive, including timestamps and things like that. So this is where your version control would come in. To extract a file from this archive, you can again type tar x for extract vf, the name of the archive, and then the file you want to extract. So let's say we want to extract file A. We would just simply give the name of the file, and we have extracted file A. Now if I say ls, you can see I have extracted directory, and let's say file A is also inside the directory. So this is working with taped archiving utility. I hope you've learned something. I actually encourage you who are following along to go through the manual page and get familiar with all the options that you need in order to make tar work. Thank you again for watching this episode, and I'll see you in the next one.